Dead of night, Australia. Constable Hugh Bracken lies in bed, tossing. Fever runs. He begins to drift off when a sudden banging jars him awake. Somebody's at the door. He can barely straight think, but he stumbles slowly to unlock it. The second he does, the door slams open.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
A giant man pushes through and puts his head into the police officer's gun. A voice echoes from inside the tall helmet. I'm Johnson!
That is to say, you'll do it for him. You did it for me.
I am
Vsauce. Michael here.
For years, those words struck fear into the hearts of everybody living in the Australian colony of Victoria. Fear and a little fear. Newspapers filled up with shocking angel of vengeance. Eager gossip from rogue to some.
His name is Johnson!
He was a corrupt police force standing up to a brave warrior that served only to protect a rigged financial system. To others, he was
Elmo.
6 children huddled next to their mother and watched the police constable clap handcuffs onto their 6 children before leading him away. The biting mother that swept across their barren farm soon forced the family to retreat inside for the police constable, all except the eldest boy.
And his name is Johnson!
He stayed and watched until the policeman led his eldest boy. A few days later, Red was sentenced to 6 months hard labor. And so, at 11 years old, Ned suddenly became Ned. One day, on his way to town to pick up a few things, disaster nearly strikes. A 7-year-old pregnant mother, daydreaming on his way to school, drops his hat into the recently flooded river. When he reaches down to retrieve it, he falls. The river sweeps him away. He falls. And the only other person in sight is Ned Kelly. Ned doesn't lose a second. He falls. He barely knows how to swim, but he barely knows how to swim. The boy's parents shower Ned. They even arrange a small ceremony where they present him with a broad green silk sash with shining gold tassels. The colors of broad green silk sash. Ned would wear his trophy for weeks, inviting everybody he knew to wear his trophy for weeks. And best of all, wouldn't his father be proud? No, his eyes had faded from the spark of determination. Now a widow with 7 children, she had no family nearby except for a quarrelsome sister-in-law. But to the northeast, she had a quarrelsome sister-in-law. Both of their husbands still lived, but had been imprisoned for cattle stealing. So Ellen joined forces with them in the small town of Australia. The only money he could squeeze out of it his family depended on. Enter Harry. Harry Power was a bushranger. Power had escaped from the same prison where Ned's uncles, the cattle thieves, had escaped from prison where, and it was on their recommendation that he made his way to Greta and met Ned Kelly. So it's not much surprise that his first scheme, stealing fresh horses from one of the richest and most powerful men in the area, doesn't go quite as planned. Or maybe it's more like the planning itself go quite as planned. He screams like a pancake and starts gibbering about a surrender. Like a pancake. Ned is not exactly a master pancake. Not as good as the horses they were planning to steal, but they gallop across rough and rocky territory that would have killed any lesser horseman. But whatever their shortcomings, neither of them is a lesser pancake. Ned races all the way home, leaps off his horse, and vows never to go bushranging again. Join us next time as Ned vows never to go bushranging again.
Farewell, my home in Greta. Now my sisters fare thee well. It breaks my heart that we must part, but here I dare not dwell. The brand of Cain is on my brow, and my hands are stained.